Hi students, welcome to this video session. My name is Samuel Emeka, as usual. In this video session, we shall continue the part 2 of designing a basic 4-function calculator. In the previous video, we used only buttons as the 4-function calculators. That is the button of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But in this video, we shall use radio buttons instead so that we can see how it works. It is highly recommended that you view these videos in order, that you view all the videos in the playlist in order. So we start by clicking on this shortcut, VB shortcut, and it tells you the recent projects in case you want to make modifications on it. You can click on it. But we are starting a new project, and we name our new project Samdom Basic Calculator. We shall name it 1 in this time because the previous one we did, we can't have 2 names. Yeah, we shall name this one 1. We can't have 2 same names, and we click OK. So let's quickly do what we did initially. Let's change the title of the form to Samdom Basic Calculator, but I'm going to put radio buttons this time. Then we have our text box. First text box, text box 1. Let's call it first num text box, like we did in the previous video. And let's copy and paste another one and call this second num text box. Yeah, it still says text box 1 because we renamed the first one. We talked about it earlier on. So this is second num text box. Okay, now let's get our label 1. We can leave the name as is. We change the text to first number. And we want to change the font to Book Antiqua. We press B. Want to make it bold, size 12. Okay. So we just copy it rather than doing it again. We just copy this and we change this to second number. Okay, we can increase this text box a bit. Now, we now look at the form. We change the background color. That is a back color be custom olive. All right. We will now be using a radio button instead of the button. We will use radio button. So we get our first radio button. We have it as the name is radio button 1. We just change it to add radio button. The addition, then the text. You know when you point your mouse at it, there is a drop down arrow that comes up. Just click on the drop down arrow and we just name this add. And you just press this add. This is too small. Let's change the font. We make it Bell empty. Make it bold oblique. Let's make it bold oblique. And let's increase the size to kind of 16 and see how it looks like. Okay, I think it's good. Then just copy it and paste to find other ones. Subtract, multiply, divide. So let's now arrange these guys here. Okay, this is we call this the text, we call it subtract, and we change the name to subtract radio button. We make it camel case as usual. Then this one we call it we change it to multiply radio button, and we change the text to multiply. Then this one we change it to divide, and we change the name to divide radio button. So let's make sure we check it again to make sure that we named it right. Okay, and if you want to change the color, that's fine. I mean, I could leave the color like this, that's fine with me. The next thing we want to do is to put a clear button that will clear the entries, and also the exit button. Now let's see something here. If you click on this text box, right, if you go to align, if you look at the align property, text align, if you go to text align property, it's left. Let's make this right. Okay, you can make it right, you can make it center. See what I'm talking about. When you've made it right, let's run it so you see what I'm talking about. So you see it's now aligned right. In the first video, we didn't change the text align. If you look at your calculator, you see that most of your calculators align right. Okay, so that's just what I wanted to talk about here also. And this one, text align, let's make it right. Okay, you now put your result label, and then the clear button and the exit button. Now I want to say this: instead of the result label, you can also put a text box where you want the answer to be, and you just make that text box to be read-only. Having a result label that you change the auto size to be false. You know, in the previous video we had our result label where we changed the auto size to be false, auto size property, we changed that to be false, and the border style property, we changed it to fixed 3D. Okay, we can still put a text box as our result, but we can make it read-only. It is similar. A text box that is read-only is similar to a label whose auto size property is set to false, and border style property is set to fixed 3D. Remember, text box is mainly for inputting values, but if you still want to use text box as an output, okay, then that means you make it read-only. If you don't want to input values on a text box, you make it read-only. So we get this text box here, and let's just drag it up to here. And you see here now, we just go to read only. We look at the read only property. R, read only, is set to false. We just make it true. Okay, we just make it true. Let's run it and you see what I'm talking about. You can type something here, 34, okay? But if you type something here, if you click on this and type something, 34, you see I'm typing numbers, but it's not showing because I made it read only. So that is one, I mean, that's something you can also do. Okay, then let's put our clear button and then our exit button. So I have my button here, clear, and we made this to be the button. I think we kind of changed the font. Let's make it bell empty, bold, 12, okay. And the background color, but the back color, you know, you can also have a background image. Yeah, we can also have that. Background color, I think we set it at a bisque, which is a 255 228 and 196. Okay, so bisque, and we just we can make this a bit bigger. Let's just copy, paste it. Okay, declare, let's name this to be clear button, and this one we name it to be exit button, and we change the text to exit. Okay, there you go. So this is the interface. We've created the interface. We have set the property. In this case, we want to, when we click on add, when we point our radio button on add, then it gives us that. So let's go ahead and write the code. So let's double click on this. So if you look at this, when the add radio button is checked, when it's checked, what should happen? Before we continue, remember what we said in the last video. We have to, before we use any variables, we have to set aside a memory in the computer for those variables. It's just like, let me give you an example. It's just like before you watch NFL, I think the Seattle Seahawks have now, they now have an opportunity to play in the NFL against the Broncos. Okay, so before you watch that NFL, you will have a ticket. So you reserve a seat in the stadium to watch them, right? The same thing happens here if you have to use a memory. You have to, if you have to use a variable, you have to set aside memory for that variable. You have to set aside memory in the computer for that variable. Okay, so how do we set this aside? By declaring the variable, and we declare variables by using the dimension statement, dim, the dim statement or the dimension statement. So we make a comment, declaration, dim first num, one first num, second num, and then result as, just point, if you point your downward cursor, it highlights it. You press the tab key and it brings it up. As double, we want to dim it as double so that we can have a range of values. We talked about the data types on the first video. So we have declared this memory, these variables in the computer memories. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to assign, after declaring this, you assign values to the variables. Okay, assign values to variables. So we now have that our first num will be equal to, our first number will be equal to this first num text box dot text. First num text box dot text. Okay, and then our second number will be equal to, you see, as you're typing it, you have the IntelliSense. This is what we call IntelliSense. IntelliSense brings it up. That's one nice thing about VB. Second num is second num text box dot text. So we have assigned it. Okay, now let's process this now. Process means the calculation. When we click on this button, what do you want us to do? What do you want it to do? We want it, when we click on it, we want it to get a result by adding the first num plus the second num. That is what we want. And then after this, when it has done it, then what else do we want? We want it to display. We want it to display. And where do we want it to display? Where do we want the result to be displayed? We want the result to be displayed here. Okay, and here, what did we call here again? This is text box 1. Let's call this result text box. Remember, text box is used for inputting values, but when you make it read-only, you can use it as output also. So we've called it result text box. Okay, so the display will be that result text box dot text. If you don't see these variables if you don't see them in the IntelliSense, then just know that something might be wrong. Okay, result text box dot text, we want it to display that the sum is, okay, the sum is, now you want to have some space, and then you want to use the ampersand symbol. Now this ampersand symbol is also called a concatenation symbol. You want it to be the sum is, you know, we have to do this, so we leave some space so it will have the result. Now if you look at this, we put this in quotation marks because it's a string. When you look at data types, you know what I'm talking about in strings. We want this to be included in the answer, but the sum is now the result. This ampersand sign is used as a concatenation to join this statement and the result. Okay, this statement and the result. That is what it's used for. So let's kind of test this, and if it works, we can just do it for the rest. Okay, so we just test it. As you can see, we aligned it to the right, so it is on the right. Any number at all, -25, and let's just use 25, -25 and 25. When you add this will give you 0, right? See that? When you click on add, it says the sum is 0. Wow. Okay, when you click clear now, it won't work because we have not put in any code here. And then you just close this and then try to get the rest. Okay, so this has worked for some. All we need to do is we just copy it to save time. Copy, and we'll just, it's either we come like we talked about this. You can double click here and it brings it up, or I'll show you another thing you can do. Here is minus and here is difference. The subtract radio button, check change. You have this. Now I can do the same thing for multiply, but assuming I don't want to do it, I'll just come over here. I will type in M, multiply radio button, enter. Then I look at here, I want check change as well. Check change, I just paste it. And I put this as multiply. And I put this as product. Okay. Then the next one is the division. I can click here and put divide, radio button, enter, check changed. When it check change, with radio buttons is mainly check change, paste. Okay, you see I didn't paste it well. Now when you run into this kind of stuff, okay, issue, all you need to do is just undo, click undo, bring your cursor here and try it again to paste it. Okay, don't be mad, don't be mad. Okay, divide, and I call this quotient. Okay, then I think I am done with the main stuff. Okay, the next thing I want to do is declare. What do I want? If I click on declare, I want the entries here, and entries here to clear. That is what I want. Okay, I want this, the first num text box to clear, second num text box to clear, and the result text box to clear. That's what I need when I put clear. So in the clear button is on a click. When you click on clear button, what do you want? First num text box. Okay, I want it to be empty. First num text box dot text to be empty. Okay. Second num text box dot text to be empty, and then result text box dot text to be empty. Right, that is what I want. And then if I exit, I just want to end. Just want it to end, or you say me.close. Let's run this. If we have, let's use a 100 -30. Add, sum is 70. Subtract, difference is 130. Multiply, product is -3,000. Divide, quotient is -3.3333333333333. Clear. Exit. Does it work? Yes, it works. So let's go ahead and save from 1.vb as. We remember we want to save it on the desktop as we've been saving it. Desktop Visual Basic projects. Here I'm gonna save it as a Samdom Basic Calculator 1, and I just save. Okay, and I go to save all, I still go to save all, make sure that it is on the right path, and I save. And then I go to file and I exit. I will still post this on my website, so watch out for it. Watch out for other videos as well. Thank you for listening, and you have a great